Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So unfortunately, my youngest son, aka Andros Prime, did check at my local time 8 p.m. to see if there were any notices, and he reported to me that there weren't. So I didn't check again until this morning. So I do apologize for the late notice. Anyways, it looks like we do have a new notice, unexpected of course, and this is for the 7-day Fateful encounter. And for those who aren't familiar with this, once a month they do drop this Fateful encounter, so it does require 1,000 paid stones, and you get 3 featured units by which they are increased in odds, and I'll talk about that shortly. So, in today's episode of Should You Summon, we'll go over the Fateful right now. Okay, so let's bring up the one-time only Fateful, of course. So again, the 3 featured units are, as you can see in the picture, Kikyo, Shigiri, normal style, as well as Mayunfa. And so just like all other 7-day encounters, on the 10th encounter, it does increase those 3 featured units to 7.77% each. And of course, you can get, on the 10th encounter, since it guarantees a 5-star, any of the other 5 stars available in the game up to the most recent unit Melody as well. Note that you also do have a small chance of getting AS Shigiri, as well as some more recent units such as AS Thilili. We can go down the list here. AS Tiramisu, so on and so forth. And unfortunately, there are always still those 3.5s, 4 stars, and non-upgradable bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights. So, it looks like the developers are trying to put together a better theme. So, my guess for this month's theme is these are obviously related to the Eastern, and so obviously Mayunfa will have her upcoming AS in a few updates. Shigiri definitely did have an AS, and for those who've been following along on the subreddit, AS Cardi just got released in Japan, and there was a person in a hood or a helmet that was very similar in hair and stance to Kikyo, and so we can all surmise and guess that AS Kikyo may be coming along very soon. So if you think about those commonalities, this banner does make sense. So, should you summon? Well, again, obviously this banner is only available for those who are paid players. And it really depends on, as usual, the number one question I always ask is, do you have at least 2, or if not all, 3 featured units? Because if you have all 3, there really isn't any point of using 1,000 paid stones here, being that some of these units are released much earlier, and you don't get the benefit of getting their direct AS forms, and so you would have to pay 5 chance and treatises to eventually side grade them at the point that they are either released as an AS form in global, or for the AS Shigiri, for example, just having to side grade him directly. However, for those in the early to mid game and don't have any of these featured units and are willing to pay 1,000 paid stones, this is actually not a bad banner at all. Now, Mayunfa is the first of, I guess 2 Earth Zone units in global, and there's actually a third one coming out later on in the form of AS Kikyo. However, I would say that just looking at their kit, Mayunfa as an Earth Zone setter is still very, very valuable. She still does have the guaranteed crit for her Earth Zone members when she casts that glorious T-Stock, and the end of turn heal from Earth Zone is actually very, very useful. Not only that, but if you didn't have Mayunfa in any form, having the ability to unlock and eventually side grade and farm those treatises for AS Mayunfa is very valuable. Now, in case of Shigiri, same thing. In his normal style, not very useful at this point. He's been power crept a fair bit. However, his AS form is actually one of the top water DPS in the game right now. Not only that, he is a water zone setter as well. And so we do have the ability to get 2 elemental zone sets here. So again, for those who are in the mid game and early game who don't have access to those, not a bad choice as well. And finally, Kikyo. Now, Kikyo's an interesting one. She hasn't been in, I guess, today's meta, whereas you need her in any form, But in the past, she does have that kind of a cheese move where she can clone herself, and if she gets hit, the clone disappears, but she stays intact as long as there's only one hit. And so a lot of times against some of the tougher bosses where you have to survive, for example, a 19999 hit, she can actually stay up front by herself, move all the units to the back, and that clone takes the hit for you, such that you can survive that particular turn in the rotation. And if AS Kiko does get released in future, I am very curious to see how powerful she is in comparison to other wind-type units, or even in comparison to herself. She is not a bad unit by any stretch of the imagination also. Once you do clone her, she can do essentially 4 hits with her spam move, and that is not bad at all. Not only that, we do have the speed-based lunar weapons, and so with the lunar axe, she will do quite a bit of damage and wreak havoc on the enemy. So overall, this is actually not a bad banner. It is by no means a must summon. However, if you are missing 2 or 3 of the featured units and you are willing to pay some stones, I would consider summoning on this banner. Of course, for myself, being free to play, and I do actually have all 3 units, I will be passing on this banner. So let me know in the comments below if you are planning to summon on this banner, if you're holding off or saving your stones for a future banner. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.